G'day, Mark the Bearded Tech Skehan here, coming to you from ISE 2023 in Barcelona, and I'm standing here with a fellow Aussie, Jason Grbevski. How are you, mate?
I'm good, Mark. How you going?
Good. Jason is the Sales Director, Australia, New Zealand. Got that right, didn't I?
You did.
I've nailed it. I'm on fire for day 2. Coming towards the end of the day, been talking all day. Mate, how's the show been?
It has been a ripper of a show.
Great.
Big crowds, lots of people flowing through, great conversation.
You are getting a bucket load of people on this stand.
We absolutely are.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that a little bit on a few other videos. The Sennheiser story that's happening now. It's a thing that just seems to be. You've got it going on. Sennheiser just seems to have it going on right now.
We are in a good spot.
You're in a good spot. Yeah. So, but today we're actually going to talk about the new TeamConnect Bar. Not necessarily this one.
No.
This might be the extra large.
That's right.
Stadium version. We talked about that one at Infocom. But look, this is a reasonably new product.
It is.
It's been out about 6 months.
It's actually not shipping yet. We ship
It's not
in
shipping
Q2
yet.
this year.
Right, okay. So it was released in Infocom.
It was, that's right.
Re-released here for EMEA.
Yep.
And then releasing in Australia.
It'll be shipping globally in Q2.
Q2.
Yep.
Right.
So the announcement was made at Infocom last year.
Yep.
We're still going through that development process, final development, and it'll be ready to roll.
Yep.
Mid this
Firmware
year.
version 645.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Mate, look, let's dig into it. Let's give us the quick brief and then we'll dig into this bar.
Yep.
Yeah? So what is this TeamConnect Bar?
So the bar was really designed to round out the TeamConnect family of products.
Yep.
And that started with the TeamConnect Ceiling 2, which was a large format product for bigger spaces with our beamforming microphone coverage. We wanted to scale that family down into various sizes of installation that
Yes.
the big one didn't necessarily move down into. The TeamConnect Ceiling Medium was the next evolution of that. Same workflow, same functionality, smaller form factor and
Yes.
coverage. And then when we look at small to mid-sized spaces, there is a need for a different type of form factor than that ceiling array holds.
Yeah.
And the bar is the most logical sort of consideration that is easily to adopt in most of those spaces.
Yeah, and it's a pretty hot thing, the old sound bar at the moment.
Yeah.
And I must say, I initially thought not another sound bar, but there's some fairly unique differences about what you guys do. And you've got 2 sizes coming to the market, right?
That's correct. So there'll be a small and a medium.
Yeah.
Minor differences in terms of coverage for those, both from a microphone and loudspeaker perspective. And then we've got some other expansion functionality that sort of crosses across both of those.
Right. Okay. So with the small, the big, well, with both of them, the real kicker right now is it's got Dante on board.
That's right.
And I think I've looked at it, and I'm sure everyone's gone cool. But I don't know whether every time I've asked someone about what's that mean? Oh, you could send this out there and this out there, and you go, hang on, no, what does it mean?
Yeah.
What does it really mean for the integrator, the person that's putting this thing in, or the designer, the consultant, even the end user, the client? What does it actually mean?
So I think there's the expansion functionality that it offers, but it's using the Dante as the transport on-ramp and off-ramp for those audio signals in terms of what the Dante fundamentally is for. But what it means is that we can tap into that ecosystem of other Dante products to augment the bar itself.
Yeah.
And often, it is, as much as we try it to be the one thing that fits all in those smaller mid-sized spaces, the reality is that's not always the case, and we need to adapt.
Yeah.
And so the Dante gives us the on-ramp of being able to expand both its microphone coverage, whether that's using a TeamConnect Ceiling Medium to expand that coverage, or bringing wireless microphones into the bar as well from a presentation perspective.
Right, okay. And so how many channels in?
So we can support up to 2 external channels coming in over Dante.
Right.
And they will have their own echo cancellation processing and individual DSP.
So essentially you've got 3 sets, 2 mics, potentially external mics, and the mics within the bar.
That's correct.
So you've got some DSP that has to happen here, you've got some mic mixing. What happens here? Is there a priority? How does it work?
Yeah, so depending on how it is configured, with the bar itself, we can have the ability to, much like we do with the ceiling microphones, set exclusion and coverage zones within that horizontal coverage pattern of the mic.
Yep.
And then if we're augmenting that with external microphones, we can set a relative mix of how they operate with each other. So, a bias more towards the ceiling microphone rather than the mics from the bar, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or you can turn them off depending on the scenario that the room's
whether you
currently
need them or
set
not.
up in. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Through external control.
So, but there's also some Off-ramps.
That's it.
Dante, how many channels?
We can support up to 4 channels externally.
Okay, and so what are we going to do with those?
So we can take a mix of the program material that's passing through the bar, as well as the pickup of the local microphones as well, and use that for a hearing augmentation feed.
Yep.
And pass that into an external.
That's the obvious one, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's the most logical use case for it. We can also take a discrete feed of just the mics that are being picked up locally.
Yep.
And that may be used for a translation feed externally, or a text-to-speech functionality, transcription. Whatever that use case may be a recording of the meeting that's isolated from the program material.
Yeah, and probably a whole lot of possibilities haven't even thought of yet.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about Dante, isn't it? You've got so much flexibility and to do all these different things.
That's it. Once it's on the network, we can freely distribute it wherever we need to.
Yeah. So speaking of the network, the small one has got a single NIC, essentially. Yeah.
Yep.
One Ethernet port. It's got to sit on the network. But then we want Dante to isolate. How are we going to handle that?
So we have the ability to segregate that traffic, both the control and the Dante traffic with VLAN tagging, even though we're using the one physical port. So we still have the ability to isolate those through different paths on the switch fabric. On the small bar, the PoE, basically that port also powers the device if we've got PoE plus on the switch.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's one hose going into that to power the device and control all the traffic.
That's
both
beautiful.
in and out.
One cable, single solution.
That's it.
Mounted on the wall. But the medium bar's got 2.
That's correct.
All right. So there's obviously a physical separation between the 2 if you wanted to do that for security conscious.
Yeah. There's another layer to that as well. Is we can have, because the medium bar has a little bit more power requirement, we can't do that with PoE plus. So it has an external supply. So not only can we segregate that traffic from PoE control and Dante, but we also have that second port able to run directly into the ceiling microphones and act as a PoE source to power that device. So it's not having to go into an external switch to bring that mic onto the Dante transport.
Yeah, that alone in that bar is a game changer. Really. But there's a few other things. So there's some really cool things. What I've noticed, so HDMI in the medium is dual HDMI.
Yep.
And we're going to simple extension of screen or content and...
That's right. And dual displays.
Dual displays. Okay.
Yep. Whereas the small bar supports a single display. And that makes sense for the space they're going in. Yeah.
So the small... It's funny because small and medium, and I know you've got the TeamConnect ceiling medium.
Yep.
What sort of coverage area, what sort of room sizes are we looking to deploy these in?
Yeah, so if we look at the small bar, coverage distance of roughly about 3.5 to 4 metres.
Yep.
And about 4.5 to 5 for the larger bar, the mid-sized bar, sorry.
Yep.
And so we're anywhere from 4 to 6 people in the smaller room, from 7 to 9 in the mid-sized space.
Yeah, right.
If you're augmenting that with extended coverage, then that gives you a little bit more coverage.
Yep.
And because the loudspeakers often have more capacity than the microphone coverage does, because of proximity.
Yeah, okay. And if you've got something that's a whisker bigger, that 5 to 6 metre, then it's probably too small for a TCC medium or whatever. It's too big for a TCC, too small for the bar. So you add that extended. That's when you add the extended mics.
Yep.
Okay, and you can do that with anything Dante.
That's true.
Ideally, you would do it with speech line boundary mics, or if you're doing a hybrid sort of scenario, you could do it with good on handhelds, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Speechline range has the tabletop gooseneck microphone bases, so you could have a panel discussion running off to the side.
Yep.
That's also being covered and sent to the far end of that call. So it's really flexible from that perspective.
Yeah. Add that little the push to talk and well, the possibilities are quite endless.
Yeah, very much so. And that's the exciting bit, is that it really can adapt beyond just what it is in that simple one box solution.
So one of those things as an integrator that's a bit of a bugbear, right, is trying to get a bracket to hang these suckers on the wall that you can deal with cabling, you can tilt it, you can do all that sort of stuff. You've thought of all that too?
We have, a lot of work into the bracket. and the bracket
Seems
ships
crazy,
with the product, right? You don't
Yeah.
have to order as an accessory.
Oh, yeah, that's annoying. It's the most annoying thing as an integrator. Yeah.
And the same bracket can serve multiple functions. So depending on how you fix it to the rear of the unit, whether it's on the top portion or on the bottom, you can either have it in a wall mount configuration, and it gives the ability to tilt down so that you can get cable access, even after the install, or you can have it in a sort of desktop pedestal mount.
Yeah.
And you can still angle the bar up and down to get that angle correct.
Yeah.
There's also a Visa mount capability that uses that same bracket to just slot on above or below a display if you want to extend it that way. Yeah.
Gotcha. And sort of rounding this out, brings this all together is control cockpit. As an integrator, how fast can I get this sucker online and under control?
The reality is the bars are really designed to work out of the box to as much as possible.
Yeah.
But when you integrate, you have an understanding of what needs to be tweaked and controlled and changed specifically in an environment. It may be white balance based on the colour temperature of the lighting in the room. You may want to fix that. So control cockpit is just the ability to then step in deeper, make those configuration changes, but also have it as a monitoring tool that lasts after the install's done.
Yeah.
So you can diagnose what's going on.
Yeah.
You can keep an update of push firmware to the device through a central location.
Yeah, it's a super powerful product, and we'll dig into that on another video.
Yeah. And it doesn't cost a thing.
Doesn't cost a thing. Free. Look, what a great product. Now, Q2 into Australia, worldwide. So it means you're going to have it at Integrate.
Yeah, you betcha.
And it'll be on show, ready to use, deployed. I was lucky enough to be on a call with Jason a week ago, and I think you were using the medium.
We were.
And the optics, I was pleasantly surprised. I think it did a really good job, considering you're not known for optics, right? You've partnered again with someone, which Sennheiser has got a really good thing going on with partnerships. They stay in their lane. So, mate, it's going to be a great bar. Cannot wait for this thing to come to the market.
Neither can we.
Guys, check it out. If you're at ISE 2024, come and check it out now. But it's going to be in the market Q2. Make sure you get your hands on it. It's a really good bar that offers so much more than the average sound bar. So, Jason, thanks so much.
Pleasure, Mark. Awesome to see you.
Looking forward to see that in the market. See you guys.